What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, we are here for another episode of Let's Talk Dynasty. We had a little bit of an issue last night. For the most part, everything was fine, but War had a internet outage. So, as you guys know, we put up a video last night that was supposed to go today, and then we did Let's Talk Dynasty today, which was supposed to be yesterday. So, some shuffling around of the content, but nonetheless, you still get all of the content that you were supposed to get this week. It's just on different days. So today, let's talk Dynasty. What we are going to be talking about is some bold predictions for the 2024 rookie class. We did this last year going into the NFL season where we talked about some bold predictions for just anybody in the NFL, bold predictions for the 2024 season, or I guess the 2023 season at the time. So now this is rookies only, but that's a long ass intro. So let me not keep talking. Let's get my guy in the building, MFGDs. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Y'all, sorry about the internet outage, man. Couldn't control it.
And it is what it is. Sometimes stuff happens, but we were able to adapt and kind of get after it anyway. So let me adjust this camera really quickly. But look, man, we're not gonna waste too much more time with the intro. I see we got the roll in here. He says, "What up, roll?" But look, we got 3 bold predictions each. I asked you to give me the players, but not give me the predictions themselves because I wanted to be able to react to them on stream. I wanted it to be kind of a surprise. So I have them all loaded up, these players. But we're going to start with your first bold prediction. So I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit. But the first one is going to be a bold prediction for your guy, Rome Odunze. So, War, talk to me about this bold prediction. What is the bold prediction for Rome Odunze?
It's funny that you put him up there first as I was doing some quick last minute research because I wanted to get my numbers correct. So Rome Odunze, my bold prediction for him is going to be that despite being the 3rd receiver in the Chicago Bears wide receiver pecking order, Rome Odunze will break the rookie receiving record for the Chicago Bears, which was set in 1954. Look, which was set in 1954 by Harlan Hill with 1,124 yards. The reason I say this is because of my feeling that Keenan Allen will get injured at some point. Keenan Allen, I don't want to call him injury prone because he's a tough guy, but he has been known to have an injury here or there. And I feel like that might come into play this season, which will thrust Rome Odunze into a bigger role. And I think that him being in a bigger role in this offense, which a lot of people are saying this offense is going to be pretty good, we'll put him in a bigger role and he's just going to be able to excel. I would say that he comes into the NFL as a pro-ready prospect. So him being able to put up those kind of numbers in his rookie season isn't completely out of the question. This is called bold prediction. So this is pretty bold.
Okay, so I don't think people understood because and maybe people did understand because when you said he's going to break the rookie record, I thought you were meaning like the Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua type of trajectory for his year one. You said the Chicago Bears rookie receiving record. So put that number out there one more time. It's 1,100 yards, you said?
1,154 yards. Funny enough, no, 1,124 yards, and it was set in 1954 by Harlan Hill.
Okay, so he will be the Bears' best rookie wide receiver ever, is what you were saying, basically. Yeah. But can we also get your camera tilted down a little bit? I feel like your head's like cut off the. There we go.
Head's cut off, sweating like hell.
Hey, it's all good, dude. I know you just got home, so I appreciate you hopping on. But okay, I think I can hear the argument for that. Now, I think with that being said, who would be you're the Bears guy, who would be some of the wide receivers that had at least had a chance to kind of compete with that record in like the last 20 years? Who would some of those wide receivers be?
Alshon Jeffrey, Johnny Knox. I'm not even going to say Velus Jones. I'm going to say
Okay.
no. Those are the two that stand out to me the most because those two did have decent rookie seasons. I mean, I think Alshon Jeffrey really broke out like in his second season. So he's going to get more than 800, Shane. So those really are the first two to come to mind, Johnny Knox and Alshon Jeffrey. And those are pretty much outside of guys like Brandon Marshall, Allen Robinson, DJ Moore. Outside of guys like that, really the Bears don't have a long list of receivers that were even fantasy relevant. So
okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I was trying to think of just rookie wide receivers that you guys would have had that would have been able to do that. I mean, Alshon makes sense, but yeah, I mean, the reality is you saw what Dylan put on the in the comments. He says Bears best QB ever, rookie QB ever, maybe best QB ever, leads the Bears best rookie wide receiver ever. So, look,
I think
Caleb
he's going to
Williams
break the rookie record too, but I don't think that's bold. I don't think that's bold for Caleb Williams to break the rookie record.
Yeah, I think I made a tweet about that not too long ago, before way before he was actually even officially a Chicago Bear. I just assumed he was a Chicago Bear, and I said that he would be the Bears' best rookie quarterback in passing yardage and passing touchdowns, probably by like week 11 this year. That's my guess. So we'll see what happens. Hunter says still a rookie QB coming into the situation will take something or take some time to get them all on the same page, he thinks. And then Shane says he only has to beat out Jay Cutler to be the Bears' greatest QB ever. So that's probably disrespectful to some Bears QBs all time.
Eric Kramer had a pretty big season as a Bears quarterback. So I don't think Shane is accurate there.
I don't know. But I can get down with it. I don't think it's that crazy. I mean, like you said, it's gonna have to take something. I mean, he's gonna have to be better than Keenan Allen this year, or play more games than Keenan Allen, or something like that for that to happen. So, I can get down with it. But let's get into my my first prediction, because I have something written down here, and I want to talk a little bit about wide receiver Troy Franklin for the Denver Broncos. And we all know the story of Troy Franklin so far in this draft process. It was a guy that probably didn't need to fall as far as he did, but he did fall that far. He went in the 4th round. And to give you a better number, he was the 17th wide receiver off of the board. So there were 16 wide receivers drafted ahead of him.
That's crazy.
My bold take here: Troy Franklin will outscore at least 8 of the 16 wide receivers drafted ahead of him for fantasy football in his rookie season here for the Denver Broncos. A list of names that I think he can outscore.
Yeah, I was ready for that. Come on.
So 6 players he should outscore automatically.
Okay.
Luke McCaffrey, Jalen McMillan, Roman Wilson, Jermaine Burton, Malachi Corley, and Jalen Polk. Now, the list of possibly outscoring, I think he can outscore 2 of these 4 guys, and that would bring it to the total of 8 guys. Xavier Leggett, Ricky Pearsall, Adonai Mitchell, and Keon Coleman. He can outscore 2 of those guys. And if he does that, he will outscore half of the guys drafted ahead of him. So that is my first bold take. That is my first hot take for the rookie class right now, Troy Franklin.
I was right there with you until you got to Keon Coleman. Now, I know.
I said he only needs 2 of those 4. I didn't say he has to do all 4 of them.
Yeah, Hunter, stay tuned. I think, honestly, I could add more. I could add another name to that list, but once again, stay tuned. I could see every one of those guys you named. I could see him having a better season than them. And he's extremely motivated because he's extremely pissed off that so many wide receivers were taken ahead of him. So,
I mean, he's a guy who I had in my pre-draft process as a top 7 6 wide receiver in this class. Like I had him in the same tier as guys like Xavier Worthy, as guys like Adonai Mitchell, and then he went way, way later than those guys. So I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying that I can scout wide receivers better than NFL talent because they are the guys that actually make those decisions. So I'm definitely not saying that, but I'm just saying he looked good on tape to me. When I throw on the tape and I see him playing with Bo Nix at Oregon, it looked like it worked out pretty well. And you put him in Denver and really in this wide receiver room of Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton, obviously Cortland Sutton being the established guy. But outside of him, who's he competing with? Marvin Mims, Greg Dulcich, like Josh Reynolds. Like there's not a lot of people to compete with there outside of Sutton. So somebody has to have some value. And my thought process is that because he already has the rapport with Bo Nix from his days in Oregon, why not just bring it right over into Denver?
And Sutton is mid, so he might overtake Sutton.
Sutton might not end up finishing the season in Denver too. That might be another bold take, but he might not finish there. And I saw Jono, he said averagely bold, but look, that was the first bold prediction of the day. So we had to, we can't like just hit you with the craziest of crazy stuff right away. But let's get into your next one, War. Actually, we have a couple comments here. Hunter says, I think that he can outscore Leggett and Pearsall. Pearsall is going to be stuck behind Debo and IU. Keon is either going to be a baller or a complete bust. I think we've said that, and it's going to depend on his usage. Dylan says Franklin is guaranteed targets from year one since Nick's already trust him. Guys like Odunze, Pearsall, and others will have to earn them due to other weapons. So Hunter one more time says, I agree. Franklin was being drafted based on capital, but I think the value of the college QB connection should be boosted him into the second range. So, yeah, man, I mean, that's where we're at. That's my first hot take, but Troy Franklin, he outscores half of the wide receivers that were drafted ahead of him in the NFL draft. So let's go to your next hot take. And you have me making a graphic about Xavier Worthy for the Kansas City Chiefs. So talk to me a little bit about Worthy here.
Okay, let's talk about Worthy. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm full behind the curtain, guys. This whole
good.
time I didn't have my microphone plugged in.
That's what sounded.
That's what happens when you rush home, and then I noticed, what's that cord doing there? But yeah. Xavier Worthy. Bold take. Xavier Worthy will be just another long name in a long line of failed rookie Kansas City Chief wide receivers. That is my bold take. What's the reason behind my bold take? Just history. What do we got? We got Sky Moore, Kadarius wasn't their rookie, but he's one of their young guys. It seems that there's a black hole forming on that team in the wide receiver position. Yeah, Rashid Rice, he did have a decent season, and then he decided to, have some vehicular transgressions. And now we got Xavier Worthy, whose calling card is I'm fast. That's his calling card. Sometimes just being fast isn't good enough. There's a lot of guys who are like that. I forget the one guy who used to be on the Rams. They thought he was going to be the fastest guy ever, and he turned out to be nothing. So,
you're talking about Tutu Atwell?
No, a little bit further back. The guy he was on like 10 different teams. I will have, by the time we finish this part, I will have his name for you guys.
Van Jefferson?
No.
I'm like, who are you talking about, bro?
Hold on, bro.
Okay. I mean, the hot take of Worthy being a bust, I think we could have got hotter, but I definitely hear it because I do think that's kind of the sentiment for some people in the space right now. The people are either sold on Kansas City, they're sold on Worthy, or they're not. And Dylan says he's seen a lot of Xavier Worthy, either being Tyreek or Sky Moore. Says he thinks he's Hollywood Brown 2.0, which would be pretty interesting. Shane says Tavon Austin. Is it Tavon Austin that you're talking about?
Yes. That's exactly.
Really? It was Tavon? Yes. Because I thought Tavon was pretty decent for a little bit.
Man, Tavon, he was always trash to me. That's what we could be talking about here with Xavier. Good look, Shane. That's exactly who I was thinking about.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, Hollywood Brown 2.0, that's an interesting take because I feel like, Hollywood was signed on the 1-year deal this year. So you bring in Worthy, let him learn from Hollywood, and then be Hollywood Brown in that offense long term. It makes me wonder a little bit about what Worthy's year one potential could be if that were the hypothetical route that he takes. But I think the way that I see it right now, it feels like Rashee Rice, he's going to have to do some suspended time here this year at some point. Maybe not. I don't know. I think the reality is he's going to be looking at some suspensions. So I don't think there's a lot of people that will kind of tell you that this is worrisome career ending. I think that's a bunch of BS. Like, I don't think he's losing his career over this stuff. But for that being said, if he does serve a suspension, they will have to lean on Worthy, right? Like, that's something that they're going to have to do year one. And I guess maybe if he doesn't, then maybe they just lean on him in year two. But I just feel like Hollywood, he kind of feels like the odd man out, and he just walked in the door.
He does. That's weird because he's proven himself. I mean, he was doing very well in Arizona. So I mean, and now he comes over. I just feel like the Chiefs are constantly trying to find the next cheetah, but that's like you're trying to recapture one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. And I feel like they're going to keep taking guys like this because they've seen how well he worked with Patrick Mahomes. So I mean, I don't know. I think they should have took a guy like Adonai Mitchell, man, somebody who like was just like a stud. You get what I'm saying? Instead of finding a guy who had the blazing speed because they're trying to find another Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, that's kind of like why I think this guy might fall short of expectations.
That whole thing, the Texas wide receiver duo of Adonai Mitchell and Xavier Worthy, they're going to be such a unique case study, I think, for their careers, because a lot of the arguments that you can make for both of these wide receivers is Xavier Worthy is the analytical profile that you want to see out of a wide receiver. Early breakout age, production, the speed, some of the other metrics that we want to see, like from an analytical standpoint, Worthy, he checks those boxes for us.
Yeah.
Adonai Mitchell doesn't check any of those boxes. Like the analytics side of it, he does none of it. But when you throw on the tape, Adonai Mitchell looks like a dog. So it's like, is it going to be the film that tells us the truth? Is it the analytics that tell us the truth? Or is it probably what it's going to be is a happy medium between both of them, which it always has been. But it's going to be a fun case study because I feel like you have to look at both of these guys as rookies. Both of them, I think, are good players in their own respective rights. But it's two different case studies from two different angles.
Yeah, man. We're going to see who's going to come out on top.
We'll see. Jono says speed is boomer bust always, so I see it for sure. I could see the opportunity Worthy to have a better season than Rome. It's Pat passing him the ball, which should boost him surely. So, and then Shane says, I actually 100% agree with you, War. Worthy was drafted way too high too. Chief reached for speed just like they did for CEH.
Yep.
I mean, I think we knew that somebody was going to do that after he ran that 40. I mean, right after he ran the 40, Patrick Mahomes was tweeting like eyeball emojis at Xavier Worthy. So it was like we kind of knew that this was about to happen. I don't know. It just felt like that's what was going to happen. And then as we did mock drafts and things like that throughout the summer, everybody just was plugging Worthy into Kansas City in the first round. So it ended up seeing the light of day, whether we spoke it into existence, we manifested it, whatever, it happened. So I guess we'll see. But I personally don't think that Worthy was too highly drafted. Maybe he was an early second round guy, more kind of like where that Adonai Mitchell range went, where he ended up getting picked, but or maybe a Lad McConkey, but I don't think he went crazy high. I mean, they did trade up for him, so it'll be interesting to see that as well. But your bold take is the Xavier Worthy is a bust for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Fall short of expectation. I don't want to say bust. I just don't think he's going to do anything worthy of where people are drafting him or where they have him ranked.
Fair enough. Then Hunter says, any Lad McConkey hot takes? Not from me. Not from me tonight.
Me either.
Not from you either. But let's take a quick short break. We got a little bit of news from our sponsors over at Underdog Fantasy. Our friends at Underdog Fantasy are the #1 place for daily fantasy sports. You can now play their fantasy pick'em game, which lets you pick higher or lower on your favorite players from any sport. All you have to do is make your picks and watch the money multiplier increase for maximum winnings. The app is super user-friendly, making it very easy to use, and when you sign up using code LEAGUEFFB, you will be directly supporting our show. Not only that, but Underdog will give you a new customer special, which is a free square for your first pick'em entry, and they will match your first deposit up to $100, giving you double the cash to play with. So if you want to support our show and get in on some daily fantasy sports action, click the link in our description and sign up for Underdog Fantasy using code LEAGUEFFB. So thank you again for our sponsors over at Underdog Fantasy. And with that out of the way, let's get back into the action. And for all of you, all of you dudes in the chat right now saying hashtag ad, did I just get hit with a commercial? Got to make that money. Look, Jono, look, you guys get it, man. We gotta find ways to support the show some way. So if you guys want to support the show, sign up over on Underdog Fantasy. We don't got to talk too much more about it, but yeah, they are the sponsor of the show, so they got to get a little bit of a segment in here. But let's talk about my second hot take here, because Shane's saying we heard you guys the whole time, didn't mute your mics. Well, I saw they were muted, so you can't even fool me, man. But I can see it all right here, man. You don't see, I got the master computer right here. But my second hot take, and maybe it's hot, maybe it's not, I guess. I don't know. You tell me, War. But I'm going to be going with Trey Benson, running back for the Arizona Cardinals. And my hot take here for Trey Benson is, we all understand he's going to the Arizona Cardinals this year. James Conner is on the last year of his deal. We all probably, at least the way that I expect it to happen, is they probably are going to go with James Conner right away as the running back this season. But despite James Conner being the starting running back, and even if he doesn't get hurt and he plays the entire year, which I guess is kind of a hot take in itself, if James Conner plays the entire year, Trey Benson will still average 12.5 fantasy points per game and finish as a running back 2 in fantasy football as a rookie. That is my hot take. Is it hot? Is that hot?
I don't think it's far-fetched, man. I don't think it's far-fetched. I guess the boldest thing you said was, even if Conner doesn't get injured, that he will still have to deal with the Trey Benson problem. I could definitely see it. I've been waiting for a rookie to show up in that Arizona Cardinals offense and take over that backfield for like a couple years now. But it seems like they just have a who's who of failed running backs that like are unable to take James Conner off of the top of the mountain. And I think even the Cardinals organization probably wants someone to take James Conner off the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hunter says that's like a lukewarm water take. Dylan says hotter than people will think. I mean, I was looking at it and I was like, let's think about how these rookies last year produced outside of like Bijan and Jameer, because last year's rookie class was pretty solid. So I looked at it and I was like, Zach Charbonnet, he didn't really do anything. Like, even some of the, like Zach Charbonnet, he averaged 6.6 fantasy points per game. So Kendre Miller, 5.4 fantasy points per game. Like, these were guys that were drafted in the 3rd round and 2nd round for Zach Charbonnet. Trey Benson was drafted in the 3rd round as well, and he's going into a situation where he's going to be the backup, at least day one. Now, if he was going to average the 12.5 fantasy points per game that I said, that would put him in the same range, or that would put him with more fantasy points per game than DeAndre Swift had last year as the starter for the Eagles. So that kind of puts it into perspective. More than 12.5 fantasy points per game would have made him a top 20 running back in the NFL last year as a rookie. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit hotter. I think the number of saying an RB2 doesn't sound crazy, but that's kind of a tough feat to do as a rookie in a committee backfield.
Unless the committee gets decommitted. I don't know what word to use. I think your take is bold, but the entire time I was thinking more so like Conner injury, but you're saying he's just gonna walk up and take the chicken off his lunch tray. So
I think even if Connor's playing football for them in all 17 games, like Trey Benson is still going to be a big part of this offense. He's still going to produce for this offense despite that. So
who's the third running back?
Probably Michael Carter right now. Michael Carter, Imari DiMercado, like those are the guys that he's competing with. So
yeah, okay. So yeah, he doesn't really have any competition behind him either. So
I think that Arizona Cardinals offense is going to be nice this year. I think they're going to look good. Yeah. That's maybe a hot take. When we get to like our AFC and NFC previews that we do like a couple months from now, I bet I have some hot takes for the Cardinals.
Who would you say has the best hands in the backyard, the backfield?
Probably Benson. It's close. Him and Connor probably are somewhat close because Connor's very serviceable in the pass catching game, but Benson, he's like a true 3-down threat. Like he can do it all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely think they drafted him with the idea in mind he's going to overtake Connor. So I don't think your take is too far out there.
Yeah, I mean, when I drafted him in some of my rookie drafts, like the thought process was I was drafting a guy that I could throw on the taxi squad. And, you know, if Connor goes down, I'll elevate him and use him. But if Connor doesn't go down, like my thought was, you know, year 2, when Connor is no longer under contract, it would be Benson's backfield at that point. But I do think that there's a chance that even without that, he can be valuable this year. So like I said, 12.5 fantasy points per game as a rookie, top 24 season. And Dylan said it, I pulled it up on the screen, but he said for a running back 2 that potentially is going to go undrafted in your redraft leagues, it's kind of hot to say that guy who's going undrafted is going to be a running back 2 for fantasy football. So I don't know. We'll see, man. But that's my hot take. So do we want to get to your next one? I guess your last one, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up your last one here. So yours is going to be with Bo Nix. I already talked about Troy Franklin, but you want to talk about Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos. So talk to me a little bit about Bo Nix here. What is the hot take?
All right, you know what? Here we go. Earlier, Hunter said that the Broncos are going to crash and burn. Well, guess what? If you think that's going to happen, then you don't know Bo. You don't know Bo, okay? Look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Mr. Nix, okay? He is going to be a machine. He's going to be a machine. He's going to eat nails and shit lightning. He's going to be a straight up machine in the Sean Payton, that piece of garbage, Sean Payton's offense. He's going to be like a well-oiled machine. He's going to be a poor man's Brock Purdy. He's going to come in. He's going to know the offense. He's going to learn the offense. He's going to connect the dots. He is going to be, I don't want to say Drew Brees. I don't want to say that. Oh, yeah, I'm cutting one. He's going to be a guy. Okay, he's going to be a super game manager. That's basically what I want to say. He's going to be out there. He's going to be dinking and dunking, doing things, making on-time plays, staying in rhythm. They're not going to ask him to go out there and be a superhero, save the day, Broncos country, let's ride. They're not going to be doing all that. He's going to go out there. He's going to do his job. He's going to be Sean Payton's perfect little puppet. That's what he's going to do. And if that leads to Andrew's bold take coming true, then that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Bo Nix, if you don't know where to go, just take a look at Bo.
Dude, I feel like we got an election campaign going on right now. I just watched a Man in Full or something like that. It's Drake posted it on his Instagram story. I watched the whole series, and honestly, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but there was I don't know why I just brought that up. I think the election campaign took me right to what I was watching last night. I stayed up till 5 a.m. watching this shit, dude. Like, I turned it on. It's a 6-episode series. I turned it on, watched the whole thing. 5 a.m. came around, and I said, "Damn, I gotta go to sleep. What am I doing?"
Who did you say posted it?
Drake. Drizzy.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's see. We got this take right here from Hunter. He says, I love that with this take. What do you think about the trade that I just made? I traded JT and Knicks for Ayuk and a 25 first. mid to early first in 2025. So he says he's rebuilding. Do you like trading away JT and Knicks for Ayuk and a first? I don't mind it.
I'm always pro trading a running back.
Yeah, I think, and I don't feel like you downgrade too much to get to a guy like Ayuk. Like Ayuk's pretty damn good. I mean, I'm not. I think where I hold pause, and now if it's an early first, this is a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But where I hold pause is like if you needed the quarterback, which he says his quarterbacks right now are McCarthy, Daniels, and Lawrence. So you probably don't need the quarterback. I was going to say it's going to be hard for you to find a quarterback in next year's class, at least right now, that we feel confident in. So that's going to be interesting. Shane says he's going to be rookie Mac Jones. Dylan says that's Pro Bowl rookie Mac Jones. So
yeah,
that's where we're at. I want to play a game with you, though, because you said he's going to be the game manager type of guy. So,
oh wait, hold on, Andrew. Before you do that, I left out one part of my take because I was cutting too hard of a promo. He's going to be the third best rookie quarterback this season, as far as stats.
Caleb and who?
Caleb, Jaden Daniels, and then Bo Nix.
All right, man. Well, let's play the game then, because Cam Newton said the whole there's game managers, and then you get the truck and trailer stuff that we hear. I'm going to list you some game managers, and you tell me if you would rather have Bo or you would rather have the said game manager moving forward.
All right.
We're going to start from the top of the list. And this is just going down in fantasy points last year, guys who scored the most fantasy points. We're going to start off with game manager Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott or Bo?
Dak.
Okay. Purdy.
Purdy's a stud.
Okay. Jared Goff.
I reluctantly say Goff.
Okay. Tua.
That's tough. I feel like Bo Nix can do the same thing in the offense that Tua can.
Fair.
Tie.
Baker Mayfield.
Going forward?
Yep.
Bo.
I mean, you're going to take Derek Carr over him. You'll take Geno Smith. I mean, you're going to take Bo over Derek Carr. You'll take Bo over Geno Smith. You'll take Bo over Gardner Minshew. Kirk Cousins in Atlanta or Bo Nix?
Going forward, Bo Nix.
Bryce Young or Bo Nix?
Damn.
What is it?
Man, I'm against better judgment. I'm going to take Bryce Young. I mean, I still believe in the talent. We'll see.
Okay, I'll give you one more. And I don't even think he's necessarily a game manager, but he's a guy that we don't really know what he is yet. So Will Levis or Bo Nix?
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. Okay. Caleb says, "Is that a new design for the League FFB t-shirt?" No, man. This is a College Football Hall of Fame. I took a work trip to Atlanta and I got a Chick-fil-A Hall of Fame t-shirt. So whatever. It's not a new League FFB t-shirt. Marshall says he's in this thing. Jono says he likes the Knicks is relatively easy to acquire, and he is. I'll say he's pretty cheap, to be honest. I got him in a rookie draft. It's not very common that you get top 12 drafted quarterbacks in the NFL draft in the second rounds of your rookie drafts. The last time that we had that happen, and it wasn't even top 12, it was top 15 at the time, was Mac Jones. And it's funny because Mac Jones is some of the comparisons that we got. Dylan says Bo's definitely going to be more mobile than Kirk. Man, he is all in for Bo Nix. I'm terrified that nobody else besides the Broncos were in on Nix. Offense is kind of in shambles. Got a lot of stuff in here. So Marshall says Titans did everything they could for Levis to succeed this year. I agree. Look, man, I hear you. I have Bo Nix in some places, but I took that for and I see we got CE. What up, man? I took him for the value of the quarterback position, not necessarily because I enjoy the player. I think Bo Nix, like you said, he is a game manager. And I think the idea for Sean Payton is to kind of be Drew Brees-esque, not to become Drew Brees. That isn't, I don't know if that's the range of outcomes. I mean, that's a fucking Hall of Famer. So I don't know if that's there, but Drew Brees-esque is kind of the plan, at least from a play style standpoint. Maybe they make it happen, but I do have to agree that from a weapons standpoint in Denver, kind of light. They don't have a lot of weapons, so it worries me for a guy like Bo, because I think the talent around him is going to have to elevate him, and I don't know if he has a ton of talent around him, unless you really believe in Troy Franklin, which I guess I do. If you really believe in Greg Dulcich and Marvin Mims and these other guys around him.
Hey, they thought the same thing about C.J. Stroud. That C.J. Stroud didn't have no weapons. Nico Collins, Tank Dell.
I
They
guess
know where
so.
those guys coming from. You know what I'm saying? Marvin Mims, I don't think Marvin Mims is a slouch. Troy Franklin ain't a slouch. You know?
So I'm going to ask you this question then, because I feel like I just want to keep prying at this a little bit, because I'm trying to test how much you really believe this shit. That's what I'm trying to do. So you have the thought, I guess this is a bold takes too. So I guess safety and floor kind of have a range of outcomes in here as well. But let's say you're on the clock. It's Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, and Drake May. You are confidently trading down and just drafting Nix later than rather just taking those two guys ahead of him?
No, hell no.
You'd rather have the two guys.
I said Bo Nix this season. I didn't say
okay.
Bo Nix like down the road. I'm taking McCarthy and Drake May over. Even though, man, I've heard some scouts completely detest Drake May. They think he's going to be an absolute bust, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna do a good vibes, bad vibes episode. Either next week or the next week we're doing trade show, or the week after, because we just had the rookie mini camps and all of these news pieces are coming out from beat writers. I wanted to just first rookie mini camp out of the way. We got good vibes or bad vibes about some of these players. I think that would be a good episode, but I don't want to talk about Bo Nix anymore. Sorry, not sorry. I don't really care to talk about Bo Nix.
He's my bold take. I don't want to talk about him.
But I do want to talk about my bold take, and I have one more for everybody. So I want to talk about a guy that a lot of people didn't really talk about before the NFL draft. I'm going to talk about Ben Sinnott, the tight end for the Washington Commanders. There was an episode that we did on the BDGE Dynasty channel not too long ago, 2-3 weeks ago. Maybe it was even longer than that, 4 weeks ago. The whole offseason just feels like it went away in a blur. But I talked about Ben Sinnott, and I remember Nick and Adam saying to me, like, who the hell is Ben Sinnott? We don't know who Ben Sinnott is. And I was like, well, I know who Ben Sinnott is, and I like Ben Sinnott. So my bold take for Ben Sinnott, I really like Ben Sinnott now that he's been drafted. Can I say Ben Sinnott one more time, or should I just stop saying his full name?
Just keep going.
Okay. I really like him more now that he got second round draft capital to the Commanders in a situation where he can probably be a receiving weapon in this offense. So this time next year, Ben Sinnott will be a consensus tight end 1 on Keep Trade Cut, and he will be valued in the top 10 players at the position, passing up tight ends like Evan Engram, David Njoku, Jake Ferguson, Cole Kmet, Dalton Schultz, Luke Musgrave, Pat Freiermuth, and Dallas Goedert in rankings, making him a top 10 dynasty tight end by this time next year. Everybody will believe it. And remember where you heard it first. It's from your boy. How we feeling?
I know you didn't just say Cole Kmet, dog. I know you ain't just say Cole Kmet. Ben Sinnott is not about to pass Cole Kmet, okay? All right? 2 names I didn't like on the list. Cole Kmet, Luke Musgrave, and Dallas Goedert. Everybody else, I could see him passing them. I'll give him a benefit of the doubt, but well, okay, let me be honest here. He probably is going to pass Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet is going to be like the 5th receiving option? Okay. That's pretty bold take, man. Because I can't remember if I had my rankings here. I don't have my rankings on hand. I don't even think I had Ben Sinnott as like my second tight end. So I mean, I don't know, man. I think Theo Johnson. Let's see if we could pass Theo Johnson.
That's disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. Theo, they're not even in the same range right now, in my opinion.
Look, man, opportunity.
What about your boy? Opportunity. We're talking about the Washington Commanders, who the depth chart is Zach Ertz and list.
No, so you got to look at the receiving options as an entirety. We talking about freaking McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Zach Ertz. Benson not for sure go past him. So I mean, we'll see, man.
We'll see. I mean, you talk about Theo Johnson. You got freaking Malik Neighbors that just walked in the building. Like,
who else?
I don't know.
Who else you got?
They drafted Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd round last year. Maybe they lean on him. Darren Waller still technically hasn't retired. Even though people keep saying that he's going to retire, he hasn't technically retired at this point yet. He's still under contract.
He just don't want to play for them.
Yeah, if they could trade him out of town, then maybe he'd consider keep playing in the NFL. I think there was actually shout out CE because he's in here, but there was a bet that Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels had made a friendly bet with each other. So no, they're not betting on DraftKings in the locker room. They're not going to end up like Jameson Williams, but they made a friendly bet with each other. And funny enough, after one practice with Daniel Jones, Malik Neighbors called off the bet. So I don't know. He saw him throwing some footballs in practice, and he said, "I'm good. I don't want to do this anymore."
So what you telling me is that Neighbors is like this. He was like,
"Yeah." He gave the good old effort.
We're gonna have to call that off.
Yeah, he said, "Look, for the betterment of my bank account, we'll end this because I don't want to give you 10 G's at the end of the season." But I think it was like Rookie of the Year. Like one of them had to win Rookie of the Year. And it was like neither of you guys are going to win Rookie of the Years, to be honest. So.
Exactly.
Just call it off right now, bro. But Marshall says Ertz is Kingsbury's boy. Hunter says agreed. Avatar to the Dotson couldn't beat out Curtis Samuel, so Sinnott should easily wind up second in targets. I don't know, man. Drew Lock, his MN only hope. That's a bad situation.
Malik Neighbors.
Oh, is Malik Neighbors only hope? Yeah. Good way to put that together for me. Apparently, I'm not there today. But we got a question from Mr. G. It says, I joined my first Dynasty League today, took over a dumpster fire, but I have Hurts and Fields. Guess that's not really a question, but I do took over a dumpster fire, but you have Hurts and Fields. In a dumpster fire, I guess you can keep Fields, but how do you feel about Fields staying on your roster right now? Are you off the Fields? Are you off the field stuff now that he's not in Chicago?
Fields, the quarterback or the kick returner? Which one?
Both.
Which one are we talking about?
Probably the kick returner.
Yeah, kick returner. He could go to put him on a taxi squad, Mr. G. Call him a taxi.
If he's eligible.
Taxi. That's what they need to do, Fields, and put him on a taxi squad.
Avatar says, so he got Hurts. Yeah, he has Hurts, not Justin Fields at this point. Look, man, you can probably sell the Fields hype to somebody else, but I'm kind of not investing in Justin Fields. It feels like the market hasn't even corrected to his price. It's like a bunch of people that are like Justin Fields fanboys that are like, he's going to be the starter right away and he's going to be elite. I'll tell you one thing that I like to live by for the most part in my dynasty life, in my NFL fandom life. If the team that drafted you moves on from you, you're probably not that good. That's just a general rule.
It's a good rule to live by.
It's just a general rule that I live by. So if the team that drafted you did not want to stick with you, I probably don't need you on my dynasty team. That's just the way it is. So that's how I operate. Hunter says Trey Lance supporters need to listen to that for sure. I don't know, man.
Yeah, you used to be a real big Trey Lance supporter, didn't you?
I got a Trey Lance jersey in my closet right now because I did this thing that was the first year that I started doing the tradition of actually that was about the first year that I started making content kind of for our own home league at that time, because what a lot of people don't know is like these guys in our redraft league, I'm letting people in behind the curtain. These guys in our redraft league, they told me for a long time, like, hey, Andrew, you should make fantasy football content. You should do this, you should blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, well, all right, let me just start making like a podcast for our league. And so I did like a podcast for our league where I would bring you guys all on as guests. And that's kind of how this whole thing that we're doing tonight stemmed from this. But that year was the first year that I started making content where I would just put my takes on the internet, and also was the first year that I would start buying like 2 of the rookies that I drafted in my dynasty leagues, their jerseys. And so that first year I got a Trey Lance jersey and I can't remember the other one. Was that Bateman's year? No, that wasn't Bateman.
Well, they was
that
in
was
the
the
same
year.
draft, I think.
Bateman was the year before. I think. But anyways, I got Trey Lance's jersey in the closet last year. Actually, in 2022, I didn't take anybody's jerseys other than I don't know. My memory's shot right now, but last year, just Jackson Smith and Jigba and Bryce Young. So my jersey collection is not. If I buy your jersey, you probably don't want to own them on a dynasty team right now. So that's just the way that this is trending. This year, though, I'm going to find a way not to miss. I'm buying Caleb Williams and I'm buying Marvin Harrison Jr. And then I can't miss. That's the plan. Actually, I got a JJ McCarthy jersey right here, actually. So I guess we're in trouble.
But you obligated to do that one, though. You have to do that.
I have to do that one. But that wasn't even a choice. It could have been Drake May. It could have been, hell, if it was Bo Nix, I would have had to do it. I was obligated. But Avatar says Mr. G needs a roster review. Andrew, you do those. Honestly, we've done them in the past. I don't love doing roster reviews on live streams because I just don't know. I haven't found a way to do them that I enjoy doing them. I like talking and helping people with their teams. That's what the Discord is for. So if you want to join our free Discord, we help you out with there and for trades and some of the other stuff. But finding a way to make a roster review entertaining for more than just the person whose roster we're reviewing is kind of difficult to do. So I'm thinking of new ways to do it. We'll try and figure it out. Marco says hot take, but Khalil Shakir will be the wide receiver 1 in Buffalo.
Marcos, thank you so much. I've been trying to tell people that. For a month now. Khalil Shakir, they're disrespecting him. Everybody's disrespecting Khalil Shakir. They better recognize that he's gonna be the wide. Man, you know what? Marcos, that's a smart man right there.
Anyways, I think it's gonna be Curtis Samuel, but it is what it is. Thoughts on JSN? I think he should be better this year. I mean that he has to be. Otherwise, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. I think he's good. He was still my clear-cut wide receiver.
Andrew got his jersey, so we don't know.
Yeah, I got his jersey, so we'll figure it out. But to bring it all back to where we were at, Ben Sinnott, top 10 tight end by the end of this year. People will give Ben Sinnott credit, and we won't get that BS that you just gave me at the beginning of the take where you said Theo Johnson's going to take his lunch money. No, Ben Sinnott is going to be that guy. And
I didn't even say he was going to take his lunch money.
Hey, it's what you said to me. I heard it. But we'll see. Maybe this ends up finding itself on a show me the receipts episode down the line. That's probably what this bold takes will find itself on. But look, man, Shane says, so glad it gave me an ad as soon as war was going off on Shakir being worth anything. I guess YouTube's throwing ads on you guys too. So I apologize if YouTube's throwing ads on your stuff. But that is our episode though for today. Hot takes are done. But let's just recap them quickly. War, your 3 hot takes are
Bo Nix, Xavier Worthy, and freaking who the heck was my third one?
Who?
Rome
Odunze.
Oh,
yeah, but what what was the hot take, man? I'm laying you up here.
Self-respecting, disrespect the Bears. Oh, Rome Odunze was going to break the Bears rookie record. Xavier Worthy was going to be mid. Bo Nix is going to be fire. And yeah, that was my 3 takes.
Fair enough. All right, my 3 takes. Trey Benson, even if James Conner plays a full year, he's going to average 12.5 fantasy points per game and will finish as a running back too by the end of the year. Will make him a valuable redraft asset as well as a dynasty asset. Troy Franklin, he will outscore 8 of the 16, so half of the wide receivers drafted ahead of him should outscore Luke McCaffrey, Jalen McMillan, Roman Wilson, Jermaine Burton, Malachi Corley, and Jalen Polk. Possibly outscores half of these guys: Xavier Legette, Ricky Pearsall, Adonai Mitchell, and Keon Coleman. And then my final was Ben Sinnott, a top 10 tight end this time next year on Keep Trade Cut. Passes up Evan Engram, David Njoku, Jake Ferguson, Cole Kmet, Dalton Schultz, Luke Musgrave, yada, yada, yada. Ben Sinnott's about to be that dude. If you don't have him on your dynasty,
2.0.
go get him. But that is our episode. If you guys did enjoy today's episode, I see we got lots of people in here. Go ahead and hit that like button. It is the best free way to show this channel some support. Also, if you guys want to support the show financially, you can use code LEAGUEFFB for a 100% deposit match on Underdog Fantasy. There is a link in the description down below. So you're not paying us anything, but you're depositing $10. You can play a fantasy football draft. You can draft a best ball team, play some pick'ems, do something with that money. They'll give you a 100% match on that. And then it will also directly support our show because we are an affiliate with them. So that will help us. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That way, when we have more videos coming out, you guys see all of those videos. Redraft, best ball, dynasty content, all of that stuff still coming this summer. And then as we get into the season, probably a little bit more redraft focused. But Let's Talk Dynasty will not be going anywhere. That's still once a week show. And last but not least, War, you are making content, Crimson Mask. Talk to him about Crimson Mask. You guys go subscribe to him as well.
Yeah, someone in here earlier said I cut a WWF promo. That's because I cover WWE professional wrestling content over on the Crimson Mask show, soon to be Crimson Mask Wrestling. We talk about WWE, AEW, so on and so forth. It's been a little while since I dropped a video. That's because YouTube, our friends at YouTube, are they love to do the copyright. So I'm working through some things to figure out how I can get up, because once we get to 1,000 subscribers, which we are about, I believe, 60 or so 60 or so subscribers away from 1,000, we're going to be monetized, and we got to get them copyrights out of there. So I'm going to be working on some content soon. So come on over and follow us and subscribe at the Crimson Mask Show. Thank you very much.
That will also be in the description. There's some social medias down there. So if you want to go check it out, the social media will be down there so you guys can see it. Our Twitters, all of that stuff. But yeah, this whole episode, you forgot to turn on your ring light, didn't you?
No, it just progressively got darker outside. It was cool at the beginning. It was cool at the beginning. I started noticing too. I was like, it's getting late in the game now. I'm getting darker and darker.
Yeah. Well, it's all good, man. That is going to be our episode. We'll get on out of here. It's 10:30 and I'm going to go to bed because I stayed up all night watching The Fall of a Man or whatever the hell I watched. I don't even know the name of the show, but I binged the whole damn thing. So it is what it is. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Video on Wednesday. We're going to look at the 2025 wide receiver class. War always talks about how I am way ahead of everybody else when it comes to looking at these classes. I got some guys, some names in the 2025 wide receiver class that you should know about. I'm going to tell you about them on Wednesday's episode.
Getting started already.
Getting started. See you, Hunter. We'll be on the next episode. So until then, peace out.